Okay, Rob, we'll close it out with this stuff here. Something I was kind of making note. I was like, probably look to see what happened on this day in history. Like, when it comes to like when the podcast drops. So we drop every Monday at 4:20 p.m. Guys. So if you want the episode, go to
Premiere on Premiere. That's when
well,
it drops.
Premiere will drop early on Premiere, but every Monday at 4:20 p.m. we drop on podcast feed, all podcast feeds, and we'll drop on rvdtv.com too. So check them out there. And yeah, so on this day in history, which will be March 11th, it will be on Monday. But on March 10th, 1993, is when Dino Bravo got killed and his mafia ties that he had. He was found shot dead home while watching hockey in Vermont, Laval, Quebec. He was shot 17 times, it says, 7 in the head and 10 in the torso. Though there were allegations that he's involved in a cigarette smuggling ring, it was never officially proven. Rick Martel, a fellow Canadian wrestler and friend of Bresciano, which is Dino Bravo's real name, believed his popularity in Montreal area had upset some members of the mafia. Bresciano, a nephew of the Montreal crime boss Vic Cotroni by marriage, may have been linked to Cotroni's organization. In the days prior to his death, Bresciano confided into friends that he knew his death was imminent, like it was coming, and Bresciano's murder had never been officially solved. Rob, were you kind of fascinated by that aspect, being a mafia fan, and then obviously this Dino Bravo, a notable wrestler?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, dude, for sure. And I like Dino Bravo even as a fan I remember him setting the bench press record. The world bench press record was like 705 pounds or maybe 712. Both of those sound right. I saw a guy with my own eyes bench over 900 pounds recently in front of me, and I went back. I remember when the world record. I said that to him afterwards. This was at the Mr. Olympia. I don't know if I've ever even put that video on yet on my YouTube page, but I have the footage. I think I still have to edit that. Damn it. Doing it this week.
Definitely.
So many plates. 910, I think, or 908. But anyway, he was a fan afterwards. He's like, can I get a picture? I'm like, bro, what the? I said, do you remember when the world record, when Dino Bravo did like just over 7? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, he's just, fanboying, look at the, can we do another one? And anyway, that was impressive as shit. And that was a big part of my fandom, the years that I grew up watching it. Jesse Ventura only helped 2 pounds worth when he pulled on the bar because he's got expert fingers. But yeah, I had to go back and visit that one time when I was like, wait a minute. I'm like totally fascinated by all the mafia history. Dino Bravo got killed by the mafia. I need to go back and like really dive into that and see what, how that relates to the world that I know now. And so yeah, I did that, and Dino, it appears he was actually working for them, and it makes sense, that someone like that, there's so many stories, guys, especially big guys like that, when they're in neighborhoods where everyone's mafia, a lot of times those guys end up, just going and collecting debts for them, because one of the main businesses that the mobsters do is putting their money out on the streets, and they charge a vig, and 3%, 5% a week, whatever. Put $1,000 out there, and if someone has to pay you back $200 a week every single week until they give you the full original $1,000 back, you can make a lot of money with that. But how do you get them to pay you? And you need people like Dino Bravo to go shake them down, and hey, don't make me come after you. You every Friday you need to be there paying them your fucking vig. And Dino did that for a while. His uncle was Victor Cotroni, who was the boss of the Montreal mafia. The ownership went back and forth from the Rizzutos to him, and they're related as well, the Cotroni and the Rizzutos. And the Rizzutos, they worked with the American mafia, with the Bonanos, and so they're a lot more known in our history than the Cotronis. But up there, man, that was the boss, and it seems like Dino got into a little bit of trouble, from what I understand. there was a warehouse full of untaxed cigarettes, and he was trying to make some money on the side, middlemaning a deal, and the pickup didn't happen in time, and the product stayed in the warehouse a little too long. So when the pickup was there, the cops were already there, and everyone got busted. And I also heard maybe a little cocaine got introduced into the whole equation, and he was. I think it's fair to say he was an associate, and he was doing some mafia work. And then boom, after that bust, man, they must have just figured that he could bring everybody down, because that's what they do. Anybody that has information, they seem to whack them out so that they don't get in trouble. They hire you to go do a job, uh, and you do it either because you're hired or out of respect, out of your commitment and love and patronage to the family, everything, and you do it, the job, and then if someone gets busted, then boom, they cut the line off right there, and you got to die just so that they don't get in trouble. I mean, that's how they operate. Just like with a lot of people know the movie Goodfellas. Everyone gets whacked there because of the bank heist. Everyone that had any information, Frank Burke, who Robert De Niro plays Jimmy Conway, that's based on Fred Burke, and he whacked everybody that had any knowledge of it so that he wouldn't get told on. And it's just like, it's just, it's such a God complex and perspective to have everyone's lives in your hands like that, and to figure that wiping their lives out is worth saving yours or just extending it for a little bit. And then sometimes you end up going to prison anyway. And then do they regret it? Do they feel like, well, damn, I guess I didn't have to kill those 13 people anyway. It didn't even do any good.
Gee whiz.
Crazy. But yeah, so yes, Dino Bravo, man, I saw him live lots of times. Saw him at the Kellogg Center wrestling, and he was part of WWE right then when I was like, man, I want to wrestle, and I was going to every show that I could.
Oh man, what a dude too. He was only 44 when he got killed, and on top of that too, yeah, he claimed that it was 715 pounds was the record. So
okay,
that's at least what I read on the internet. So take that for what you will, guys.
His aunt was married to Victor Catroni.
Yeah, because it was his uncle-in-law, apparently, is what they were saying. But man, holy smokes! I know they did a Dark Side of the Ring on him. I got to watch that. I think that'd be pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's good.